Recall that we've met equations before. An equation is simply a statement that two expressions are equal. An equation may be true or it may be false. In an algebraic equation, at least one of the expressions involved is an algebraic expression. That is, it includes at least one variable. So some examples of algebraic equations would be x equals 4, 3x minus 5 equals 16, 3 times x minus 1 equals 2 times x plus 1. Typically, an algebraic equation might be true or false, depending on what number the variable actually does represent. So, with our examples above, x equals 4 is true if x really does equal 4, but it's false if x happens to represent the number 5. 3x minus 5 equals 16, well, that's true if x represents the number 7, right? 3 times 7 minus 5, that's 21 minus 5, which really does equal 16. On the other hand, it's false if x represents the number 2, since 3 times 2 minus 5 is 6 minus 5, which is 1, which doesn't equal 16. 3 times x minus 1 equals 2 times x plus 1. This is true if x happens to equal 5, since 3 times 5 minus 1, that's 3 times 4, is 12. 2 times 5 plus 1, that's 2 times 6, which is also 12. And these are equal. On the other hand, this equation is false if x equals 1. If x represents the number 1, we have 3 times 1 minus 1 is 3 times 0, which is 0. 2 times 1 plus 1 is 2 times 2, which is 4. Those are not equal. In most cases, when we write down an equation, we write down an equation because we want it to be true. Most often, we will actually write down an equation in order to find out what value of the variable will make it true. There's a special name for those values of the variable. A value of the variable that makes the equation true is called a solution of the equation. In our example, we discovered that 7 is a solution of the equation 3x minus 5 equals 16. However, 2 is not a solution of that equation. 7 is a solution, 2 is not a solution. How did we determine that? To determine whether a given number is a solution to an equation, we simply evaluate the expressions on either side and determine whether the values are equal. So that's fine if we know a possible solution. If we don't currently know any possible solutions, what's our alternative? If we want to know what the solutions to a given equation are, we want to solve the equation. To solve an equation means to perform some series of steps that will find all of the solutions to the equation. If we have solved an equation, we have found all of the solutions to the equation. And what's more, we know for sure that there are no other solutions. In order to have solved an equation, we need to have both located all of the solutions and be sure that we have located all of the solutions. There are various procedures for solving various kinds of equations. But before we can get to any of those procedures, we need a little bit more machinery.